If you clicked on this video, then you either don't know how almost everybody feels about this topic and for some reason specifically chose to hear my opinion, which I do appreciate if you did, or you simply want to hear more people trash on this, and that's respectable. It's not like, I'm like, what now, a couple, 6 months late, but it doesn't matter. So, The Promised Neverland, an anime about little kids unknowingly living on a farm where they're treated as cattle to be given to the population of demons that inhabit the world around them. Meanwhile, having them under the illusion that they're in an orphanage where they can be chosen to go live in a beautiful family, when in reality they're being made into McNuggets for demon boys. And when two of our main characters, Emma and Norman, find out the truth about the house, it is up to them to devise a plan to escape the house along with our third main character, Ray, and try to get everyone out while simultaneously trying to avoid being discovered by their new enemy, Mother Isabella. Anyway, now, I loved this anime. As a culture person, I could easily say that at the time I had finished season 1, The Promised Neverland would have been on my top 10. I don't know, man. I really enjoy this show. I love the characters so much. Emma was so optimistic and determined, and even if sometimes she could be too naive, that may be a little bit annoying, you can't help but love her. Norman was the calm and intelligent one, and I loved seeing the way he would try to outsmart his enemies, and despite being more realistic, he would do all he could for Emma and his family. Ray, who was probably my favorite character in season 1, mind you, not just because he's voiced by Killua, which, I love, but I have a biased favoritism for characters that are like this. He's also pretty intelligent, and I would say a lot more tragic considering his backstory. Isabella? Come on, man. She is the MILF queen, who is so fucking threatening. People probably want to be stepped on her. I love her. Crone? We send this woman. No questions. She's amazing. I love her. I also adored the horror angle it had to the whole atmosphere, the story, everything. The camera designs, you know which ones I'm talking about. You know those camera positions that made it so fucking unique. You know exactly which ones I'm fucking talking about. I love the soundtrack. You know that anime intro went hard as fuck. I love the twist that made me go apeshit, and I loved how it made me feel on edge every single time something could go wrong. And I almost cried twice, which is hard to get out of me since I have no emotion. Once out of sadness, and I shed one tear of excitement and hype and joy. And man, I love this anime. I really did. And by the time it ended, I couldn't wait for season 2. Oh my god, what's outside the house? What's gonna happen to the kids? What are they gonna do to fight the demons? Who's Willie Minerva? How will they... So by the time this video is out, The Promised Neverland not only finished its season 2, however long it took me to make this video ago, but has concluded entirely. Now, let me walk you through the process of me watching this anime. Season 2 came out. Everything's going completely normal so far. According to the manga, the pacing is going by well, skipping some small sequences here and there. Episode 1 and 2 are just going fine, aside from this weird CGI. We get to episode 3, we get to the bunker, the door opens, and... oh shit. Now granted, I actually didn't have this oh shit moment when the door had opened at this time, and up till episode 4 I was an anime only, but god, do I wish I would have had that moment of realization and shock. It wasn't until episode 4 where they showed Isabella like she was gonna come back as a villain that I thought, okay, something smells like Connie. So I took to Instagram, and sure enough, TPN had become anime only. Okay. Let me arrange my complaints in a way that doesn't make me go insane. Once it was announced that TPN will be anime only, I took the time to read the manga. Let me be clear that the manga is no masterpiece. As a matter of fact, much like the anime, it got gradually worse as it went on. And there's already a really good video of someone way more popular than me talking about the manga and what went wrong. And I'll link the channel down below. And yeah, there were problems that he didn't even have to tell me about. For example, near the end there are way too many assholes, like way too many. A few examples being manga spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Norman's about to kill the queen and finish his plan that he's been working on for the past 2 years and is very determined to do it. But nope, he decides to not do it at the very end because of a little Emma speech. He clearly takes after Naruto in the Tokyo Jutsu. Sanji wants to kill the children after they leave for the shelter, never goes anywhere, and is forgotten about after the one penny.
Offering? On God? Just like that.
Norman's colleagues have made it very clear how much they hated demons and how badly they wanted to extinguish them. Well, they're okay with not going through the plan at the very end. Because, why? No reason. This one girl that hated Norman for killing her demon father and wanted revenge, nope. Norman just said something to her and it's forgotten about. And no, we never find out what he said to her, like never. The translation could have literally been cock and ball torture and you would never know. Dom and Gilda are trying to find Mujika along with the demon dad girl, and they're ambushed by these guys, and then they're conveniently saved by all of them getting a headache because of their condition. At the same time. Very, very convenient. Mujika's about to be executed for giving her special blood to other demons, and which will ruin the monarchy and the farm system. Well, Louis turns out to be alive and doesn't want to eat the kids anymore for unknown reason, and saves Mujika and Sonju. Out of fucking nowhere. Legit out of fucking nowhere. Peter Ratty has the kids surrounded by moms, and now Grandma Isabella, baddie, with their guns pointed at them. Nope. Turns out Isabella was going to betray Rattree and convince all the other moms to do so. These are just a few examples, but yeah, a lot of ass-pulls. In a way that wasn't a completely happy ending, but more like, okay, that just happened kind of ending. So once again, the manga is not a masterpiece, but fuck me in the ass is definitely way better than whatever this was. I don't even know where to start. The characters, the pace, and the animation. Oh, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. The climates, the fucking everything. Granted that I've heard quite a lot of people say that as an anime only, it's not as bad, but it's not good either. So let me try to talk about this in a civilized manner for as long as I can hold that, and I'll be comparing a lot of the show's aspect to the manga, but I will also try to judge them on their own, and I will also be judging them according to season 1, obviously. Alright, so let's go back to that scene. Now, in the manga, this seat was actually occupied by the one and only Yugo, who was one of my favorite characters at the time, and he was a really good one. Many knew he was the Emma who lost hope, and I thought that was a really good character to have. Not only did we have an adult figure who, despite being an asshole at first, isn't necessarily an enemy character. Well, again, not at first, but not only was he interested on his own with being one of the few kids who have escaped out of the farm, but he also had lost almost all of his family. It left him destroyed. He was stuck in the shelter for a clearly long time, assuming he was also 12 when he left the farm, and just his psychology to his situation around him. Supposedly he was planning on killing himself before the kids arrived, so, yeah, that's fucked up. I mean, he's also the one who wrote all those names on the wall in the anime and the manga. But if you're anime only, you wouldn't know. His broken mind shifting between a pessimistic, rude grown-up and a kid with an explosive attitude. Kinda like me. That's the other aspect. The way he affected the kids and their thought process was a great thing to have. For example, he challenged Emma in her super optimistic ways, which, was good because we didn't have Norman anymore. So it was a way to be able to keep her in check. And because of his negative presence at first, it made Gilda become more courageous. And later on, when Emma gets captured, his small conversations with Ray were great. And his entire reconnection with Lucas, as well as all of his interactions with the kids after he stopped being an asshole, were top tier. He was like an older brother to all of them. He taught them a lot of things in order to survive, and even to the moment of this man's death and the sacrifice he was willing to make for the kids, he had grown attached and made him the character that deserved to be that deserved to be represented in the anime with respect. I'm not gonna lie, I almost cried. Almost. I'm no bitch. I'm at least glad that people still give him praise despite never appearing in the anime, and let's be honest, we all know he probably would have gotten sent for. Now let's go back a bit to what I just said. Emma gets captured and she's brought to this carnival-esque town where she doesn't know what's going on, and very quickly things are going ham. This is Goldy Pond, and this is the arc that everyone talks about and wonders why it was cut. Now, I tried to do a little bit of research and I lost fucking brain cells reading this shit. As far as I'm aware, there isn't an exact reason that we know of as to why it was cut, but people speculate that it was perhaps because the kids used guns, you know. In an anime where children are served as food, mothers are forced to have and take care of children to send them off to die, breaking a child's leg, a kid who tries to set himself on fire, cutting off your ear, all this stuff is fine, but a gun is a big no-no. I mean, this arc was good. It had interesting characters, and maybe a lot of them I cannot remember the names. Lucas, Oliver, Violet, Gillian, Lewis. They're still fun side characters with neat skills, personalities, and goals. Again, I have shitty memory. Okay, it still had a lot of skip takes because we were clearly shown a lot of kids being killed by poachers, and we see how it's affecting Emma. Emma herself goes through a great character arc, and her fight with Lewis is really, really good. I mean, this scene itself was fucking fantastic. And despite being very different from the house, the planning felt like TPN. And it was still a plan that was developed as we read along. It had all the pieces there for us to get invested, right? So honestly, let's be honest, a lot of people know this as the last good arc of the manga and the show. Well, actually, no, never mind, because it wasn't on the show. But anyway. It's also possible that because it was now anime only, they wanted to add original scenarios, but don't worry, we'll get there. There's a quote from the author of the manga who said that original anime content would allow for the anime to progress past the manga's ending or to expand upon topics that the author wants to spend more time on. Chosen arcs will be reconstructed at a healthier pace.
Well, that was a bunch of bullshit.
But we'll get there soon enough. We may never know the exact reason, but we all know that it was definitely a shit decision. The characters in the manga and in the anime really didn't change, kind of ironic. Not necessarily saying that they stayed good, but rather stayed alike in the wrong ways. We're gonna be going one by one. So first we have our main character, Emma. The first season of TPN really felt focused on our trio. If anything, having a bit more focus on Emma and Norman at first, and later on with our whole 2 boys and 1 girl shonen scenario, and finally on Emma and Rei. What I'm trying to say was that the focus felt balanced, and unlike many shonen where it focuses more on our main character and the secondary main characters, TPN felt like it focused on our main characters, emphasis on the S. The way that Emma went down as a character was when the focus turned into extreme shonen. Now, not only are we mostly focused on our main character and the secondary characters, but the secondaries now feel like side characters and even background characters at times. And honestly, in terms of impact, is what made a lot of them feel like a shell of their former selves. I mentioned that I really liked the arc Emma goes through in Goldy Pond, but I also wish that we could have kept the same focus as we went along, instead of giving every single bit of depth to Emma and leaving characters like Rei to stay in the bleachers like the emo loner he is. Rei, what I basically said about the focus, right? He stopped being my favorite character by a lot when he went from main character to side characters to support character. They really dragged his shit on the pavement without his consent. They could have done so much with him. They could have expanded his relationship with Yugo, maybe becoming like a sort of apprentice. Maybe he could have stayed as the realistic balance to Emma for making the choices she couldn't, instead of just going along with everything she wants to. You could have expanded on the previously established relationship with Mom, with the reveal that she was his mother. There was so many potentials for character growth and conversations. When Norman comes back, they were never given a moment to talk alone with one another. And that whole scenario would have presented so many ideas and scenes that I would have loved to see. They have great scenes on their own. I mean, do you not remember when he's revealed to be the imposter? I'm sorry.
Damn, bro, you got the whole squad laughing.
But the only thing we get is the slap he gives Norman, and that's it. It's one of the aspects that pissed me off the most because I really liked Rei, and he was a character that was far from finished and had so much potential by the time the anime and the manga ended, but they decided to drop him off the curb like an unwanted kid. Oh wait. Norman. Easily my favorite character. Everyone knew that Norman was gonna come back. Also, I don't understand the rush of reintroducing him. I mean, we all know the golden rule about a character dying that I personally like to summarize and name: didn't see it, didn't count. So from season 1, we knew his introduction was inevitable. But not only did they choose to reintroduce him
5 fucking episodes into season 2,
but his reintroduction and his entire character was so weak I could push it into the ground with no effort. I could poke it and the shit would fall over. Once again, taking into account his manga comparison, because of course I would do that for Norman. Here is where the anime fucked with the manga. Whereas Emma and Ray stepped at the same level of ass. In the manga, Norman's return was amazing, like great. Mainly because of the many aspects surrounding his return. Acting as a sort of protector for a community full of kids, even though we knew he was alive pretty early, we didn't get a reintroduction until very later on into the manga. And that reintroduction, in my opinion, feels so much more heartfelt and impactful. I can't exactly pinpoint why, but I would think that perhaps it's because instead of being in the midst of a chase, which honestly, let's be honest, feels kind of cliche, the path to this introduction is slow, and it builds up with a completely different expectation because of the Will and Minerva twist. And because of that lack of action, your sole focus would be on this reveal. Not only that, but he was being portrayed as the savior, even before we knew who it was. Especially for our group of children, like ours is the one we've been following. The bunker had just been destroyed. Hugo and Lucas just died. Some kids also died, and they had to go against whatever this dude's mental records say. So his reintroduction feels like this saving grace, and it's built up slowly. As for the anime, they're getting chased, and they get saved by
I wonder fucking who.
and boom, the episode ends. Comes out of nowhere, no context is given, doesn't feel necessary, and do the classic I was alive and end the episode. So not only did they nerf his entire reintroduction, but they nerfed or nothing his character. I believe that the biggest example I can give you is during the scene where the massacre, quote unquote massacre, starts. Now before that, I want to say that Norman was a great character all throughout, and a lot of the things shown after his reintroduction are super interesting. For example, something I noticed a cutout were the factory farms. Sure, I kinda get it, but again, anime where they eat children. Regardless, being shown that factory farms was legit shocking, because again, I was anime only at this point, so when I read it and I saw those, I was like, holy shit! That's terrible. The description, the image of the kids being treated like real cattle without basic human comprehension and just being like empty husk of meat to feed was just really well done. And the scene where Norman has to unplug and basically kill all of these kids so they don't suffer was something I really wish they hadn't cut out because it was so good. And the scene with the demon in the basement was, I'm gonna give it to the anime, it was captured very appropriately. But you're never going to capture this shit right here. So going forward to the beginning of Norman's plan to annihilate the demons. First off, they cut it off too short in the anime. Especially, cutting out the royal demon fights was a huge disappointment, probably because they couldn't animate it. But also, I'll give this to the anime. They did make Emma's speech to Norman make a lot more sense and make it more plausible. But in order to do that, they shot Norman's character in the fucking foot. And where I can pinpoint it is right here. Now, why is Norman everyone's favorite? Because he's a leader. He's a great anti-hero at season 2. This dude is clean as a bitch. He's threatening. He's a force to be reckoned with. The entire massacre in the throne room is incredible. And being shown that Norman was willing to do whatever it took, even if it meant lying to his best friends, in order to achieve his goal. And when he tells Emma, "You're too late," that shit is cold. So even if the Emma speech doesn't really make sense, you kind of ignore it because the scene that just happened was so good. In the anime, having him hesitate to kill a demon, even though yes, it is a child demon, but not only does it downgrade his character like the Mariana Trench, but they microwaved all the coldness he had, and again, got rid of some great fight scenes. However, having him hesitate does end up making more sense when Emma talks to him, and it makes more sense why he will give up so easily. But every threat and obstacle he posed was wiped before he could even be soaked up.
The fact that the demon baby, whatever the fuck is named Emma, it's so fucking stupid!
Now yeah, you could say that it makes a lot more sense that Norman wouldn't go straight for child murdering, even if it's a demon. But in the manga, he's never even alluded to killing a child demon. He just straight up just goes right into the throne room and starts fighting the royals, which is a lot colder and a lot better than in the anime. So I don't know why they added that. They could have just left the royals and he goes straight for the big heads because that's the bad bitch he is. So it maintains his ice cold personality while not having him try to be a child murderer. And if you think that in general having Norman as this really clean character doesn't fit and that his softer anime counterpart is better,
Dum 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 ass, dum 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 ass, dum 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 dum.
not only is he clearly a character with leadership and someone who's intelligent and capable with a strong personality who's willing to do whatever it takes for those he loves, even the shit he does in the anime and manga, but as a kid who has been haunted by demons for about 3 years, with them killing a lot of his family members, himself almost, and them being experimented on, pretty harshly mind you, not only him but everyone else in the facility, and even when he gets out, they still pose a huge threat to many kids' lives. And let's not forget the factory farms. I think it makes perfect sense. And not only that, but he just makes a great anti-hero and a great character overall. So yeah, this Norman is the best character and the best version. If you disagree, you're racist. A lot of characters were also ruined, Peter Ratchet being the biggest example. He is the main antagonist. Throughout the manga, he has caused the children so much trouble and has made their life impossible. He betrays his brother, and as someone with a sibling, I would have swung before that, but I understand that he's a kid. I still would have swung. But regardless, Minerva went through some shit. And when he captures the kids that were with Norman in that little shelter tree, whatever, he does some fucked up shit. He breaks this kid's finger, because I can't remember his name, and steps on it. He threatens to kill this one girl, and let's not forget that he sends his fucking Mount Massive patient not only to bomb the shelter, but to meet Phil in Gracefield and kind of interrogate him, which was pretty intense. He does this, and unlike in the anime where he's defeated fairly quickly, if it wasn't for Isabella, then Ratchet would have had the upper hand in various occasions. It was like that Caleb City video where it's just the battle of the wits, so when both of the characters are too smart or some shit like that. Yeah, it was basically that. Homeboy's so pathetic now. Just looking at you colored, no racial, feels disrespectful. Alright, so you said original anime content would allow for the anime to progress past the manga's endings or to expand upon topics that the author wanted to spend more time on. Chosen arcs will be reconstructed at a healthier pace. Okay. The problem is that you skipped the second best arc in the manga. You skipped a really good and important character. You skipped a lot of plot points to make space for original content. So, what progress did you make past the manga's endings? What topics did you expand upon? What arc did you reconstruct at a healthier pace? Alright, let's see. So you picked up right after Goldie Pond when the raiders come in 2 years earlier to destroy the shelter. So you have the same scene in the demon town after the time skip. You added in some random demon characters. You rushed in Norman's introduction to the same episode. Okay. What about the topics that you expanded upon that weren't in the manga? Alright, let's break this one down. Not Isabella becoming a grandma. Not Norman's time at Lambda, nor their sickness. You actually made the way that they find their cure 10 times fucking worse because you removed Adam. So you just made it so they found it in the fucking pen. Okay, whatever. You added a little bit about demons, but that was 2 or 3 characters. Definitely not what happened during the time skip or right after the raid. Not Mujika, not Sanju wanting to eat the kids, not the betrayal from Isabella, not Peter Ratchet's backstory or character, not Will and Minerva, definitely not Ray, definitely not Norman's plan, not the factory farms, not any other character that wasn't Emma. You made a fake up betrayal, and definitely not the ending. But we'll get there. What arc did you reconstruct in a healthier way? Easy. None. Alright, and now to be honest, I'm gonna just rant out individual mistakes and missed opportunities that don't fit in any specific category. Not telling us what the demon promised Isabella that we couldn't hear. And while yes, you could say that we don't need to be giving every little bit of information, it would be nice to know, since it's never hinted at what it could be, and it does not play into anything in the story. Obviously, the more popular theory is that it has something to do with Leslie. I don't know what it could be, but again, we have no fucking clue. Having Sizzlo betray the kids would have actually been an interesting idea to explore instead of having it be just a cop-out for a cliffhanger, because then you know no one was engaged anymore, so they had to make a fake betrayal. But not only would you have actually fixed something from the manga, that being Norman's crew being way too lenient and way too okay with the plan just being cancelled, but you ruined it. Despite having less kids to keep up with than in the manga, when the manga's like 70 something, now you've cut them down to the original cast, you still don't give them enough time to develop as characters that could have been more interesting. You give them like little segments, but nothing more than that. But consider how you hold the main characters, I expected it. I mean, Anna at least became the healer of the team, and just like Healer, she was pushed aside, but at least she tried. She's just the mercy of the crew. It's okay, not everyone can be good. Not giving William Minerva the focus he needed. I completely forgot about him, to be honest, until he was mentioned last minute and until Peter Rattree came onto the screen. Why? Well, because ever since you deleted the fact that Norman would play the role of William Minerva from the manga, and you decide to just not have that all in the anime, William Minerva just becomes unimportant. I don't know if it's just me, but pretty sure he was a big plot point in the first season, and in the first half of season 2, and then just... Who the fuck is that? No, I don't know him. He doesn't exist anymore. And did you expand upon the ending of the manga because it had rushed darks towards the end, it had a lot of ass pulls, and the ending itself just was not received well? We're gonna get to that. And the worst is not letting us see Saucy's face animated, you fucking bastards! Alright, let's be honest. Do I need to say more? Okay. I know that's weak even for me. I have to admit and praise some of the animation done in Season 2 because some of the scenery here is absolutely amazing. It's beautiful. And even though I hate that they got rid of the interesting angles and camera movements from Season 1, I kind of understand the shift in tone that required a different style, but I 100% believe it would have benefited from those kinds of shots. And even though, yes, the anime can capture a scene very accurately, it doesn't mean you can make your season and show finale look like this. And now we get to that part. Episode 11. You still had the same fake out with Isabel and her betrayal. Expected it. You made a plan that was 10 times less interesting than season 1 and then in the manga. And you made it so that it lacked the feeling that something could go wrong at any moment. You lower the stakes, you lower the tension, and you lower the danger towards anybody. That you even removed a major death that could have been expanded upon. You removed a lot of things, so it's pretty linear that you just get to the door. I mean, seriously, did I miss something? Or where the fuck did they get air balloons? How the fuck did you get in here? Am I asking the wrong questions or am I being stupid? Peter Ratchet becomes one of the worst antagonists in anime. William Minerva just used as a shitty, unnecessary plot point to make Peter Ratchet not seem like the worst enemy antagonist. Good for you for not killing Isabella, I guess. And after all is well and done, the ending seems so close that this nightmare can end relatively painful, but at least it can get worse.
エマ？お、私たちはここに残る。
Wait, what? Wait, this is new? Hold on. Okay, wait. Maybe they're actually going to do... Wait, could they actually be doing this right? I mean, I can see the potential with them staying. Seeing them as this rescue party, similar to what Norman did in the manga with the factory farms, but instead of doing that, they're saving kids? That could be... Wait, that could work. Oh, maybe they could introduce the royals this way. Or perhaps they implement the idea of William Minerva as the savior from the manga with the shelter, but instead of having it just Norman, you have it with the whole crew. Ooh, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. This kind of works. Hold on. Oh, Wait, perhaps Isabella can even stay and they can build up the lack of relationship after her redemption.
ママたちにも人間の世界で家族を守ってほしい。
Okay, no, wait, she's leaving. Okay, alright, whatever. Anyway, I can see the potential. I can see it right here. It's in front of my eyes. And I can see it. Okay, yeah. If they make a couple more episodes, I can see this ending at least being redeemed. I mean, we're only in episode 11, right? Season 1 had 12 episodes, and at least another episode is warranted. Even if it's a prologue, it could work. Or maybe the ending is just them staying here forever? Wait, holy shit. Okay. What if this is warranting at season 3, where they stay in the demon world and they discover things from the manga, and they have to fix everything or something like that? And this whole time, it was just a giant brick wall. It could 100% work, right? I mean, come on. It's not like they will cram it all in the last, 5 minutes? They would have to be fucking high to do that. Oh no. I was just kidding. I was joking. Where's the animation? Where is the animation? What in the fucking security breach is this? Did you guys really run out of budget at the last second? I'm sorry. Who are you people? Where did you fucking come from? I thought there weren't be any adults. This is still the demon world, right? Who are you? What the fuck? Are they gonna? They're still doing the promise? Excuse me? Are they gonna keep it the same? You're not even gonna give us a picture of the entire fucking process you need to do in order to even get close to this point? Not at all. Not okay. Is that the? Oh my god! Is that the elders? Oh no. Yeah. Really cool city. Wish I knew what the fuck the point is, but okay. What happened? A war broke out? Who was fighting? The kids? I know your tiny group did not fight against them. Was this against the royals? I mean, Mujika is being coordinated, so seriously, what the fuck happened? You give us a PowerPoint presentation, and despite me reading the entire manga, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. I just realized that when I was looking for the clips to edit them. Tell me, did I miss something? Did I forget something? Am I just being stupid and not realizing what some of these shots mean? Like seriously, I'm questioning my sanity at this point. No, don't play the fucking lullaby. I wasn't expecting a good ending. Hell, not even a mid one. I was expecting something. Like, yeah, cool, we get to see Phil and everyone grow up, and yeah, cool, we get to see everyone in the human world living human lives. But I would much rather have this released as a manga prologue rather than the shots for the ending of a show. You're showing me what happened, but it feels like you're telling me what happened. How do you do that with animation? We really had what? Phil is like 9 or 12? He was 3 at the beginning. He was 6 after the time skip, so at least 3 to 6 years have passed, making our trio at least 18. Do you realize that? We skipped at least 3 years and at worst 6 years of content. And apparently, I'm not the only one who realized that they basically shoved season 3 in this slideshow. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking shoot somebody. I don't even care anymore. I have calmed down, okay? My voice felt broken. So, let me just say, if I had been in charge of the way this anime was handled, expecting at least more than 11 episodes, I would have done Goldie Pond Season 2. If I was bossy, maybe I would have had the ending of the season be with the raiders heading to the shelter to get them ready for Season 3. Or maybe I would have had the season end before the time skip to do some Naruto Shippuden shit and have season 3 pick up right after the time skip to not cram it all in that season 2. But mostly season 3 would have been them trying to find it and the Promised and Norman's reintroduction. I would obviously want more than 12 episodes for this, so things can develop at a better pace and so it's not rushed. And then either end in season 3, or maybe if they really thought that the anime ending was better, which yeah, it could have been if they implemented it correctly. Because it's not the worst idea. I would have made that slideshow into season 4. At least 40 episodes were warranted for this anime. I don't really have the brain capacity to make a proper conclusion. Watered down characters and outright character murders, rush pacing, skipping content people want to see, and fucking up the one we did see. An outright disrespectful ending for manga and anime watchers. And why? If they really didn't want to do the show, they should not have done it. I guess the better late than never rule applies here, but I would have much rather waited years if it meant the show would be in actual capable hands. I waited 4 fucking years for Attack on Titan season 2, and that shit was amazing. I would have done the same thing. Hell, I would have waited 6 years if it meant having a better anime in the end. And maybe even do what the author actually wanted to do and fix the many problems that the manga had. I would have gladly waited if that's what it meant. I stood up on the release day of season 2, looking on YouTube because I was desperate and I didn't know my anime website yet. They had taken down Kiss Anime. What was I supposed to do? Watching episode 1 at night on my phone in my bed. It was a good day. I don't remember if I had school that day, but it was a good one anyway. I was so excited to continue this anime that I adore.
My God, what a fucking fool I was!
I know making this is really not going to change anything, but I gotta throw my anger somewhere. And it might as well be this editing software and this cancerous platform that I love. Whatever. I'm done. I'm really fucking done. I would give my firstborn child up for 4 things. 1, a universe where we got all 6 Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 3. 3, Bully 2. And 4, a reboot of TPN. We need TPN Brotherhood. Sorry for the headphone bust. I'm fucking leaving. I need to eat.